by that. Let's have a word with Paul in Ormskirk. Paul.
Hello there, Mike.
Hello. Are you in your pub as we speak?
Yes, I'm in my pub. It's my bedroom.
Oh, right, OK. Very good. Are you allowed to smoke in it?
I am, but I don't. I gave up smoking in my bedroom a few years ago.
OK.
I've knocked it down to a couple a day for the last 8 years.
Well done.
Just go out the door.
OK.
But yeah, I see what you mean about the pubs. They really... they're not doing very well at the moment, are they? And I can understand why.
Yeah.
I mean, they cost too much, really, don't they?
Well, I think, you know, the sort of art of being a sort of nice local pub seems to have been missing in some parts in this country anymore. You know, unless you're in a little tiny village in one of those nice parts of West, you know, the West Country or Wiltshire or something like that, you don't find them in the big cities anymore, do you?
No, you don't, but I just think that the whole price, I mean, it's you're going on about supermarket prices. I mean, I don't know, you know, say a price of a pint of bitter is about, what, £2.40?
Not in London, it isn't.
Sorry?
Not in London, it isn't. I paid £3.90 for a pint of Guinness the other day.
£3.90?
Yeah.
So in a supermarket you can get that for, say £1.10?
For what, for a pint, a can or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And then for homebrew you go down to even more, like about 30 or 40p.
Yeah, but I'd actually rather sit in a pub and have a drink than I would sit at home and have a drink. And if I'm at home, I tend to drink wine. So I only really drink beer in a pub.
Well, actually, it's funny you should say that, because I am actually a wine drinker, and I've switched to homebrew, and my homebrew is far nicer than well, not any, but most supermarket wine kits.
So you brew your own beer there in the house?
I brew my own beer and my own wine.
Right. Do you live on your own?
Yes, I do,
The only reason I ask you that is because when I was at college, a mate of mine decided to make some homebrew, and we lived in these kind of dormitory room type things, you know, and it had to be so hot where he was making the beer that the place actually did stink like a brewery, and it was quite off-putting. But the poor guy slept in there. I'm sure it did his brain some damage after a while. But presumably you've got somewhere good to brew it.
Yeah, I've got seven. You can get 7-day home kit wine brews. I won't name the brand. Don't worry about that.
All right. Oh, and, sorry. So this is wine you brew, not beer.
Wine and beer.
All right. Okay.
It's so cheap now. It's unbelievable. Shall I tell you how much it costs to get a really seriously good brew?
Yeah.
You can get a good glass of wine for 15 pence.
Really?
15 pence.
Right.
And it brews itself in a week. When I say 15 pence and it brews itself in a week, it's like between 12 and 15%, and it's probably like £4, the equivalent of...
And what's
£4 what you get at Tesco.
And is it like a white or a red, or do you do both?
Well, I prefer white myself,
okay.
But you can do white and red.
And is it a particular grape? Do they tell you it's a
Chardonnay?
Chardonnay, okay.
Yeah. And the equivalent of that in like a supermarket, Tesco, Sainsbury's, whatever, is probably £3 or £4.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's like top of the range, but it holds its rate. It's literally like about a tenth the price of what you get in a supermarket.
But yeah, but to be fair, if you go into the supermarket and pick up the really cheap stuff, then you're probably getting slightly better quality than that, aren't you?
Well, you get the sulfites, which is not good for you. You get the heartburn, and believe me, I'm in my very, very late 30s. I'm not going to say my exact age, but I'm very late 30s, and I've been a drinker for 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that I've been drinking wine. I'm not a connoisseur, but I've drunk the cheap wine for quite a long, long time.
Yeah.
And the cheap stuff in the supermarket, the £3 to £5 range, is absolutely nowhere near as good as the cheapest homebrew that you can get off the internet by a big margin, and you will save between 60 to 80% of the price.
And if you're going to a pub, which I presume you don't bother doing anymore,
well,
you must absolutely
cringe. I'm a bit older than I was when I was in my 20s.
Well, you would be.
Yeah.
That's one of those, sort of, what is it, an oxymoron or something. Yeah. But, the point is that, when you go in there and they say to you, would you, when you say you want a glass of Chardonnay, you want a large one, it's £5 or £6 now, isn't it?
I know. Well, the last time I went in, I went to some posh bar about 5 years ago, and it was about £4 or £5 for a glass of crap, to be honest.
Well, again, there are some places in London where you'll get hit for about £7.50 for a large glass of white wine.
Oh, you're joking.
I'm not joking.
That'd do me for about a week or two if I went on a serious binge.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it is a very large glass, and it's probably only about 3 to the bottle or something like that. But still, £7.50 for one drink just seems mad.
It is. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, why did they? You know why the prices? Why are these prices so high? I mean, the actual quality of the liquor involved. All right, be me. What I do is quite cheap, but it is tasty. It doesn't give you heartburn. It's got no sulfites. The sulfites is very important for every wine connoisseur out there. You don't even have to be a connoisseur. If it avoids sulfites, it's a good thing, because you don't get the heartburn and the hangovers for a start, especially with white.
But what sort of, how much room do you need to do this? I mean, do you have to have a big sort of, you do it in a garage? I mean, where do you do it?
I'll tell you exactly what I do. I bought 2 plastic 30-litre barrels off the internet.
Right.
Obviously, I can't name the companies, but you can just Google Homebrew, Wine Brew, whatever, and you'll find it. All you do is you just Google Google Homebrew. Now, I'll do the wine example, and you can go up to a 30-litre plastic barrel. That normally costs about £15 from wherever you get it.
Right.
This is all a one-off payment.
Okay.
Then you get the plastic tubing, normally about 2 metres, because obviously you need to have the barrel a good metre or so higher than where you sieve it off to.
Okay.
Then all you need to do is buy the actual kits themselves. And you can normally get a 30 bottle of 750 millilitre wine from a mainstream shop, which I'm a lot now to mention, for approximately £20, which works out at about 65 pence a bottle. You need 5 bags of sugar. It works out basically to 85 pence for a bottle of good quality.
And presumably
wine
you're not making it.
Millimeters.
You're not making it constantly, so you make a big batch of it, and that lasts you quite a long time.
Yeah, I make 30 bottles of wine, and that lasts me a good 2 weeks, 3 weeks if I'm having a day off.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
So you're drinking 15 bottles of wine a week?
No, every 2 weeks.
Yeah, but you said you make 30 bottles?
Yeah.
And you do that in 2 weeks? That's 15 bottles of wine a week, isn't it?
Yeah, about 3 weeks, actually.
All right. So still, that's 10 bottles of wine a week?
Probably about 10 bottles of wine a week,
Is that just on your own?
Oh, yeah.
So that's a good bottle and a half, practically.
Oh,
a day.
Yeah. Well, Trevor McDonald drinks a
lot,
bottle of wine a night and it doesn't do any harm, does it?
Well, I don't know. He's leaving. No, I mean, it just seems like an awful lot of wine to be drinking on your own.
Well, I suppose it is, but you don't get any of the chemical crap that you get from the supermarket.
Okay. It certainly sounds like a bonus. I mean, I was going to do a show actually on Sunday night on ways to beat the credit crunch. I think you've just found one.
Well, I've actually just started. I've had the wine nailed for a good 7 or 8 months.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, I'll admit I'm a bit of a heavy drinker.
I don't think you need to admit it at this point.
Well, I don't mind.
We've already worked that out.
But I've also just started I've also got another barrel for me beer.
So this is in addition to the 30 bottles of wine every 3 weeks or so. You also have some beer to drink.
Well, I haven't at the moment, but I'm brewing some beer at this present time, and it'll be ready on Tuesday.
Excellent.
But the only problem with the beer is it takes 3 weeks to completely brew, but you only need to leave it in the barrel for a week.
Right.
But
and how quickly are you going to get through that, do you reckon?
Oh, that'll take longer because I don't drink much beer anymore.
All right. Well, listen, Paul.
At my age, it's the quality that counts, not the quantity.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm nearly 39 now, so I can't do 15 pints a night anymore.
No.
But as for the wine, no, honestly, seriously, you can get a real. I couldn't believe that you could actually do this a year ago, and I shouldn't really be saying this because it might encourage heavy drinkers to drink even more, especially if they don't go out too much, but you can easily save £20 a week.
Yeah, I think you should get out a little bit more.
Less than a third supermarket price.
Yeah.
For far superior the quality that you will ever get.
But on the other hand, it is meant to be a social activity, Paul. So, I mean, if you're sitting there on your own getting through 30 bottles of wine in 3 weeks, you should invite somebody round once in a while.
Yeah, I've got my mate, Frank comes round.
Frank?
Yeah.
How much does he drink?
He only has about three pints every week, actually.
3 pints a week?
Yeah.
So how often does he come round to have 3 pints a week? Once?
3 times a week.
So he just comes round for a pint?
Yeah.
But you haven't got any beer at the moment, you said?
Not at the moment,
He's
no.
coming round on Tuesday, presumably, for the
Yeah,
unveiling.
he comes round Monday, Tuesday and Friday.
No, but will he come round this Tuesday? Because that's when you can have the beer.
Oh, yeah, he'll have a pint. Frank will have a pint on Tuesday.
Excellent. All right. Well, Paul, listen, good luck with it, mate. Paul in Ormskirk there. Brews his own beer, brews his own wine. It sounds a fantastic idea. I'm slightly worried that he's spending a bit too much time on his own, but now that I've heard Frank's coming over, I'm a little bit more relaxed about it. 08717 223344. We are actually talking about the death of the British pub. Maybe Paul and other people who do what he does are the reason, because it's so expensive. Dave has sent this in. He said...